Good morning, children. How are you? And before I start my class, I would like to ask you about the activity. Yes, where is the activity? Many of you haven't submitted still. They have not. There is no submission of the activity, and I would like to. I thought today I will be discussing about it, but as I haven't received most of them, so I cannot take that. So tomorrow in my tomorrow's class, whether I get the activity or no, I am going to discuss it, and mind you, I will be marking it. So I'll cut marks for late submission and the ones who are not submitting at all. So please submit your activity which I am giving you right now today itself, or I want it today itself. I want all of them. Alright. Apart from that, many of you are not even attending the class on a regular basis. Please take care of these kind of things. Don't miss the class. I don't know whether it is that you people are not able to get up by 9. Is it too early for you? Or I'm not sure, but I am not really happy with the attendance. So please, I need my children to come at least in my class so that I know your children are listening, they know the explanation, and doubts. Again, I'm not getting doubts also. This shows that you are not listening. Because definitely if you listen to the class, if you listen to the explanation, there has to be some doubts. And till now, I have not received any doubt regarding the lessons what I am teaching you. So, what should I think about that? And so children, please buck up. I need my activities, I need my notes. Okay, regarding the notes, also a small reminder, there was a little bit of mix up because between two chapters notes. That was because the paper got stuck and the pictures went on. So I did change that, and I have given it on the group. So please take care. And only one child was the one who told me about the mix-up. Nobody else. That means you are not reading when you are writing the notes. We are humans, right? Even teachers are humans, and maybe there might be some kind of mistake or something. Even it happens, that like for me it happened. The pages got stuck, and I told the other person to take the pic and send it, and that other person did not understand where the lesson was starting and which lesson got merged. So please take care of these kind of things, because it will make you do double work, right? Alright, so I hope everyone is awake. So let's start over, and because some of you might be, I feel you people are still groggy, and after the speak, I'll be checking the attendance record, who all are not coming regularly, and the ones who have not come at all in the class, we will be giving you a call and checking what is the matter. Alright, so let's start. Good morning everybody. Yeah, now I think I'm loud and clear, and it's morning time, rise and shine. Alright, okay, let's start with our new topic today, regarding, see, till now the poems which we did were very light-hearted, it was touch of humorous element was there, and it was very simple. But this poem now, which I'm going to take, you need to listen to it very properly, because it has a very deep meaning, alright? And you need to know that. Mind you, I will not be discussing the inner meaning, the depth of the poem. I am not going to discuss right now. Once I explain, I would like to even ask you people, because many times I'm asking something but I'm not getting answers. I would like to have small answers which you can send it on the group. You are allowed to. So please do that. Alright, so that I can at least understand, I can know that my children are understanding what I am teaching. Okay? So this poem is called The Ball poem, alright, and it is written by John Berryman. Now this poem, as I told you, it's a very deep meaning poem. So I'll read it first and then we'll slowly you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay? Alright, in this poem basically there's a small boy. He's playing with his ball. Alright, and you know, for children, the toys are very important. Many of us, we still, as we have grown up also, still we have something which we used to play in our childhood, and we are very attached to it, and we still have it with us, and we say, yeah, see, I got it on this birthday, or this person gave it to me, and it's very close to your heart. Alright. Now in this poem also we see a boy. He has his favorite toy, that is his ball, and he loves his ball. He used to always play with that particular ball, and how he loses this ball, it bounces, and how it loses his ball, and what effect he has when he loses that ball, what kind of effect it leaves on him. That loss of ball, a simple thing, like when you think, so what, it's a ball, no problem, buy another one. It's not very expensive also, but it is not about expense, it is not about money. It is about the feelings and the closeness and the memories attached to that particular thing. Alright, now here it is the ball. So let's read about it and then we'll explain it. I'll explain it and we'll discuss about it. Alright? Okay. The Ball by John Berryman. A boy loses, I'm reading the paragraph right now. Okay, a boy loses a ball. He is very upset. A ball doesn't cost much, nor it is difficult to buy another ball. Why then is the boy so upset? Read the poem to see what the poet thinks has been lost and what the boy has to learn from the experience of losing something. Yes, this part is the most important in the poem. That what did he learn from the loss? Alright, I will go on with the poem, and because this part is very important and I would like to elaborate it. Alright, we will be explaining it and then you can let me know what you think. I want even your suggestions and what is your opinion about it. I would like that. Okay, on my you can send your opinions on my personal accounts. Alright, not on the group. Don't send it in the group. Send it on my personal. Okay, so that I can read all your thoughts and then we'll discuss it. Okay. Alright. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over. There it is in the water. So he had this boy and he was playing with his favorite ball, and while playing, it just bounced. You know what's the meaning of bouncing, right? It touches the ground and then again it comes up. That's called bouncing. So the ball started to bounce, and while bouncing, it rolled over and it went into the water. Now, water, when you're talking about, you can think about a stream, alright, a small stream which passed through that area, and it fell into the water. And merrily means happily. The ball they are referring to is as a happy ball. Alright. So the ball was bouncing happily and it fell into the water. And what will happen to the boy? What will he do without the ball? And what does he feel when he loses ball, or when he sees in front of his eyes, he's seeing his favorite thing is leaving him and he's getting departed from that thing forever. So how does he feel? No use to say, oh, there are other balls. And ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down. All his young days in the harbour where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless. Now he senses first responsibility in a world of possession. Now here, when he's seeing that ball, he's just, he gets very shocked. When you're losing in front of your eyes, you see your most important thing gets shattered or gets lost, and you are not able to do, you are not able to do anything. It's not in your hand anymore. You can't do anything about it. You can't change the situation. But just that, you just stand there, and that was the condition of that boy. He was just seeing the ball flowing into the water, and he is unable to do anything. And he's just standing, staring at the ball, shaking because he's that pain, because of that pain that is his favorite ball. He's thinking, it's my favorite thing, and I'm losing my favorite thing. Alright, now children, here they are referring to, you might be thinking why a ball is given so much of importance, right? But here, it's a ball is just a symbol, alright? They are referring to the ball refers to basically in anyone's life. It can they are here for a child. They are referring to it as ball, but it is actually the most important things in others' life. All right, it can be anything. Okay, for a child, it has to be a toy, right? So that's why they have taken a ball as to explain the feelings of losing something. Okay. Now, saying that it is no use that he's standing there and trembling, but I don't want to, the poet is saying, I don't want to go and intrude in his feeling. Intrude means to get in his way, He doesn't want to enter his sorrow, feeling what he was having that time, what feelings were running into his head. He didn't want to intrude that. He said, the poet says, I can give him a dime. Dime is the coin which is used in US or UK, okay? So, like we have paisa, rupees, right? So, like that is saying, I can give a dime, it's just one dime. I'll give it, and he can go and buy a new ball and he can play with it. But it is not about that at all. It is worthless. That new ball will be worthless, because why it will be worthless is because that this ball is just not a simple kind of thing that, okay, so no problem. It is all the memories which are attached with the ball. Alright. Now he might be in his lonely time and nobody was there to play with him. The ball always was there with whom he could spend his time. Alright, and it was one of the most closest thing to that boy. So it meant a lot. Maybe in this, he says, he senses first, now he senses first responsibility in a world of possession. So he's saying at that time, when the boy is losing his ball, that is the first time he senses this responsibility in this world of possession. What is this world of possession? Actually, it means this materialistic world. Materialistic world means where things, where wealth, where strength plays a vital role, and that is more important for people. That nowadays people, they want power, they are not satisfied. So that's what he's saying, that In this world, there is no one in this world who has not experienced losing something very precious. Alright, for this boy, it is about, and he says it's a sad thing that this boy is experiencing this kind of loss in such a tender age, in such a small age. He is going through this sort of feelings where he loses his favorite thing, and he comes to know how it feels, how much pain there is that when something favorite is taken away from you. So that is what this boy is feeling now, and the poet is referring to. So this the poet is saying this boy suddenly he feels the sense of responsibility, and he, from the small boy, he feels like he has grown. He has learned a big lesson which he should have actually learned much more after a few more years. But in such a tender age, he learned the value of loss, that what loss means to a person and how it feels when something very close to you is taken away, and how much pain you feel at that point when that thing is not there anymore in your life, or that important thing is not anymore in your life, and you cannot bring it back. That is the main thing. You cannot replace it, because it plays a vital role in your life. And even though you want that thing to come back, now I am saying it is thing, it might be a person also. It can be a person, maybe a person whom you really love, you really like. There is no one in this world who has not experienced loss of life. The person may be your close friend, maybe your someone close to your family. In your family, maybe your grandfather, maybe your grandmother, or many times a person is small. You must be knowing many of some of your friends might have lost their parents also sometimes. So it is a heavy loss, and we at that time we cannot think. We cannot even imagine how they feel when they lose that special person in their life. So he's just saying that imagine losing a favorite person or a very close one. We can't even imagine, when we cannot even think how the small boy is feeling when he loses his ball, his favorite toy. We can't imagine the loss, the pain. Okay? So that is what the poet is saying. People will take balls will be lost always, little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. The epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and must know many days how to stand up. So he's saying that they lose the things, they buy new ones, they buy the new ball, and it is the way of life that balls will come, balls will go. Now see children, again and again, don't think it as a ball, okay? Think it as a ball refers to something very valuable, very important. Valuable when I am saying, I am not meaning financially, alright? I mean emotionally, something or someone who is very close to you, very dear to you, alright, or a thing which is very close to you or dear to you. That's what they're talking about, that the people will come and people will go. So here they're referring to, he's just symbolizing it and showing and telling us as a ball. So he's saying balls will come and balls will be lost always. It's the system of life, it's the way the life is, that nobody is here forever. Nobody can stay forever. Life is about change. Life will change. Today, how it is, tomorrow it will not remain the same. And there you have to be strong. That is what they are telling. Money is external. You can think that, okay, no problem, can you buy friends? No. Can you buy family? No. Can you buy close ones? No. So money is basically external, means it will come and go. It has no value. He is learning. He means the boy is learning well behind his desperate eyes. Desperate means he wants that urge, that thing of I want it back. When you have no control over it. You want it so desperately, you want it back, but nothing will work at that time. Even if you want how much ever you want, it will not change. The change has to come, and the loss can never be replaced. And it is how you take care of that, of yourself, and how do you deal with that loss. That is the main important thing. The epistemology of loss, epistemology means deep knowledge, alright, the deep knowledge of loss. Loss teaches something. You might think, why God has made loss? Why do we have to lose someone? But loss is a major thing which teaches a person. Can you tell me, what does a loss teach a person? What do you learn from loss? When you win, you feel happy, right? You gain something, you feel very happy, and you are motivated and all that thing, and you're high and all. But loss brings you down. So what is it teaching you? Yes, loss teaches you to be patient. Patience. Because without patience, a person cannot work. You have to be patient. You have to be strong. Mentally, you have to be strong. Physically also, and emotionally, you need to be strong. A person cannot shatter if there is a loss in his life. Alright. There are many children, this thing can be taken into many accounts. Alright. In many ways it can be. You see, and nowadays especially, the way you people in the age group you people are in, and now you are in 10, and you must be reading newspapers, and you must be listening to news many times, and recent news, many news which we got recently were very disturbing, of people who could not control their emotions, who could not come out of depression, who could not take care of themselves, who could not deal with the loss. Now loss can be again maybe money, financial, maybe emotional, maybe someone, loved one is not with the person anymore, or maybe also work related. And as for that, for you children in your age, studies is a pressure, right? It has a lot of pressure on nowadays children. Too much of parents also, children feel parents are putting a lot of pressure, teachers are putting a lot of pressure, so we have a lot of burden on our head. Yeah, but it is not so. It doesn't matter. Of course, marks matter. Of course, studies matter. You can't say that, but you need to be strong. See, if you fall sometimes, you just don't fall and you are lying on the ground. No, you don't keep lying down on the ground. You gather the courage and you will get up. Even though you are hurt, maybe you're bruised, you have got all cuts over your body, but you will not keep on lying on the ground. You will get up. So, same like that, even if there is a loss in your life, in your personal or your financial or whatever it may be, it can be dealt with. There is no loss such big which you can't deal with, which you cannot take care of. Yes, it will take time. You have to be patient. As I told you, patience is the key. Your mind should be strong. That is the key. And to keep control over yourself, your emotions, that is also a key. So that's what he's saying. You should, when you are having loss, you see many people, they commit suicide. it was all over the news. Many people, they commit suicide in these lockdown periods. But that is not called strength. That is weakness in a way that they were weak from inside. They could not take control over their losses and they could not, but that's not a good thing. So anything happens in life, anything. None, again, life is such a beautiful thing. Alright, God has blessed us with such a beautiful life. You know, you should have the worth of it. You should understand that why should I lose it on anything. Nothing should be so important to you that you lose everything. Many people, they go bankrupt. You know what's the meaning of bankrupt? They have no money at all, zero money, and they have no house, and they have nothing in their life. So, and what they do is they commit suicide thinking, oh, my life finished, I have nothing. No, it can be rebuilt. Of course, it will take time. Of course, it needs more work. But you will go through a bad phase. The children phases always. I told you, life is about changes. So, a bad phase will always move on. It will go up. Don't think, arey, this bad phase is here forever. Nothing is forever. Life is about change, and you should know this, and you should be very, very strong, and you should learn from the loss. The first step is loss. When you lose something, only then you know the value of how much it means to you. If you easily get everything, if you're lucky enough and you're getting everything very easily, when we say you're born with a golden spoon in your mouth, means that you're born in a rich family, your dad is providing you with every luxury in the world, everything in the world. You don't need to work hard for it, so you will not know the value of it. But only you will know the value of a thing when it is lost. Then only you will know how much it means to you. Alright, so that's what he's saying, the deep knowledge of law, the etymology of laws, how to stand, knowing what every man must one day know. And what is that? That every man in this world, every person in this world will know one day or the other, he will know. And what is that? The more and most know many days how to stand up. And what is the main thing they learn? To stand up. To stand up means, as I told you, when you fall, you need to stand up. If you have a loss, if you lose something, lose means if you have a crisis, don't weep over it and bicker about it every time. No, take it in a positive attitude, which is, of course, it is easy to say. You must say, it's very easy to say, to be positive, but at that moment, that is when your inner strength comes in, that you should be strong and think, no, I can go, this is not the worst part of life, it is nothing worse, I can do much better. No, it doesn't matter whether this thing is not there anymore or this person is not there anymore. I'm better. I will show my better side. Alright, and that will be my strength. I will overcome this pain, this sorrow, this loss with strength, with being positive. Alright, so this is what the poem is all about, that how loss is a very, very important thing in life, and it is must that a person will lose something or the other, but it doesn't mean that you lose, and if you have lost something, you just keep on bickering and crying over spilt milk. No, it's okay if there is. And so the central idea of the poem is that everybody loses something one day or the other in this world of possession. So a person will definitely, sometime or the other, he is bound to lose something or the other in this materialistic world, and it is the nature of loss, and nobody can stop that. Sometimes good time comes, sometimes bad. So nobody can stop that. one must learn to face and forget the loss. You should not keep on crying over the loss that, oh, mere saath ye hua tha, oh, that time this happened, oh, that time this happened, and talking only about negative. No. Look beyond that and be positive and think positive, and when you overcome that, and that will give you will see, you will bounce back and you will do wonders. Okay, you will definitely do wonders. This is what the poem is about. Okay, so not a lengthy poem, but yes, with deep meaning. It needs to be read properly. Please open in Google, because you people don't have books. Please open in the Google from NCERT. In that, this poem, the ball poem is there. Read it. This poem has to be read again and again. I am emphasizing. Please read the poem. Go through it. And this time, I need doubts. I need questions that which will make me understand that you did understand the poem. You are getting what I am saying, because I am not getting any response from you children. And you know, I don't like that. I like noisy class. I like children, and not noisy class means, you know, not talking to each other. Talk to me. Yeah, I'm here to talk to. And I love that when you people talk to me, you know that. So, start giving me answers. Many of the children are very quiet. Like, Divya, where are you? I got a call from Garima. Okay, I have got. And where are the boys? Priyanshu, where are you? Where's Bhavya? I did not see Bhavya. So I want Bhavya also. Very quiet in the class. And many others I'll see. I'm definitely going to. And where are my three Devis? You people also not giving me any kind of Payal and all of you. So come on. I need something. I need you to talk to me. I need you to write to me. Ask me questions, which you used to do in the class. Okay? Come on. More of interaction. Okay? Even if it is on the phone. I would like that. Alright? And on Saturday, again a reminder, any doubts, please come on Saturday. I'll clear up all the doubts. Alright? And please complete my notes. My activity needs to be done by tomorrow. I will be taking the class tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Today I want all the activities being submitted so that I can take the class tomorrow. Alright? With that, it's a wrap. Thank you very much. Bye children.